Hi everyone, welcome to the spring semester at Butte College. My name is Lisa Nichols and I'll be your instructor for Chem 1. So I'm hoping that you're watching this video ahead of time, like before the semester even starts, because it's going to allow me to start into like the new content a little quicker. And I think that's more valuable for our in-person time than like what I plan to do in this video, which is just kind of talk about the structure of the class. It's not complicated, right? So I feel like it's better to save the in-person stuff for things where you might actually have questions about. So anyway, that is my goal for today, is to go through like kind of syllabus day, like structure of the class, assignments, and all of that. When I do see you guys in person, then I do plan on like reviewing all this really quick, just sort of the big ideas of what the class is going to be like, to see if you have any questions. And then we are actually starting in on a lecture on our first day. Okay, so that is my plan. So let's start in with Chem 1. So first off, let's make sure that you're in the right class. This class is intended for engineering majors or science majors, chem, biology, physics, environmental. And we also have people who are pre-professional majors like medicine, veterinary, pharmacy, dental, that sort of thing. There is some confusion a lot of times about which class is right, and if you are nursing or dental hygiene, nutrition, or agriculture, this is probably the wrong class for you. Those majors typically take Chem 51 instead. And one exception is that there are some nursing schools that actually do require Chem 1. I've been told by a counselor that it's about 1 of every 12 schools will require Chem 1, so it's not common. But if you do know that you're planning on going to a school that does need Chem 1, then you might still need to be here. But I just want to put this out there because Chem 1 is much harder than Chem 51. So if you're shooting for an A, it's going to be harder if you stick here than 51. So keep that in mind. All right, so just because it's week 1, I just want to say this, that you need to come and let me know so you need to come all of week 1 for sure. I want you to come the whole semester, of course, but specifically week 1, I'm trying to figure out who's in the class. So if you do miss any class in week 1, I'm dropping you. So if something comes up, just make sure you email me so that you don't get dropped. Okay, so about me. So I started at Butte College teaching chemistry full-time since 2003. So I've been teaching 21 years. My main class has been organic chemistry. It's Chem 21 and 22. It's the second year of chemistry. I was hired for that, and I've done that many times. It's like a year-long class. I've done that 17 times. I am also doing that this semester. So I'm Chem 22. I'm teaching along with your class. So that's kind of like my main thing, but I have done Chem 1 many times, 9 times, and it is a real special class for me. I super enjoy it, and the reason that it's special is because it changed my mind to be a chem major when I was going in school. So my first year of college, I started off as a biology major. I was going to be like pre-med. And then I took Chem 1, and it was afterwards, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so much fun. And I love that we were like explaining the world. It was more fun than my biology classes, and that changed me. So I switched over to Chem major and haven't regretted it. I mean, it's been great. I really love explaining, things about the world, and I see things out in like nature or just society, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that makes complete sense. And I just love the power that it has in like predicting things and understanding the world. Okay, so comments about me and like kind of how I approach teaching this class. One thing I want you to know is that I do recognize that you're probably going to have forgotten a lot of things. So this class does have a prerequisite. Everyone should have taken chemistry before. You could have taken it in high school, or you may have taken Chem 11, which is our prep class at Butte College. So you all have taken this, but I know that it might have been a while ago. So if you did it in high school, like a lot of times people take it their sophomore year, and so maybe that's like 2 years ago for you, or maybe more, right? So I don't expect that you can remember really quick off the top of your head how to do things from 2 years ago. I wouldn't say, let's calculate the number of atoms in a paperclip. Go, Like, I know that we have to like bring back those skills and kind of remind you how to do everything. If you did take Chem 11 or high school chem like last semester, it could be last semester, or last year, you're probably going to remember things a lot better than people who took it many years ago, right? But anyway, I know that we've got like a mixed group in our class, and we got to build everybody up and get them ready for, moving on. So I am going to be starting at the beginning on everything. That being said, though, is that we're not just repeating high school chem. We are doing other things. So that means that I've got to go kind of quickly through the old stuff to bring us up to speed so that we can actually learn new things. So if you remembered chemistry pretty well, you might actually find that those review times where we're starting from the beginning feel a little slow to you. We'll get to new stuff eventually. It's about halfway through the semester where it'll be like most of it's new. But if you took chemistry like 5 years ago, 10 years ago, even when we're doing like the review of old things that you probably should know already, it's going to feel like you've never seen them before. So just know it's going to be a little fast paced, especially if you don't remember chemistry. But we're going to get through it. I mean, people succeed in here, starting from all sorts of backgrounds. So just if you don't remember, you're just going to have to work, quite hard. It's okay though. All right. So also, like, you'll see this quite soon, but I'm a real like organized person. So the way I present things, I hope that it's like really clear. I set things up in a real like organized way, showing my work, showing units. And I think it's a really smart way for scientists to work, to show things like really clearly. So I hope that you follow the approach that I do. If you do show things really clearly and like systematically, you're less likely to make mistakes. That's the point, right? Skipping things is when you skip over important stuff. So anyway, that's how I am, and I hope that you do it as well. I also hope that you find me pretty, nice enough and approachable. I treat everybody with respect. I try not to make you feel stupid. I acknowledge, people are coming in at different levels. I know that some of you will have forgotten math stuff. I need us to be able to do algebra, but I'm also going to review algebra, right? So anyway, I hope that you find that I meet you where you're at, and I just want us all to succeed and be able to move on and keep going with your career path, Anyway, and my last little bullet point is it's really important that you build friendships in science classes and you work with people. It's going to help you get through, and like in future classes too. So I have designed the class where there are like going to be times where you got to work with people. It's kind of like part of the structure. And if you allow yourself to like become friends with people, it's going to make it so much more fun, and you're going to do better because you'll be comfortable to like ask questions and stuff. Anyway, I've designed that in part of the class. Okay, let's talk through the structure. So there's the lecture component. We're meeting Monday, Wednesday at 8 o'clock for like an hour 15 class. It's kind of long, but that's how it is. Butte College has basically changed most of the classes to 2 days a week. So they're big chunks of time, but that is the structure. You'll eventually get used to it. So I do give you an outline of the notes. They might look like this in the middle. So I have printed notes that I'll give to you, but I also do a lot of stuff, or I put things on Canvas. So if you wanted to work electronically, like if you have a tablet or like a writable laptop, you can do that. You can do basically everything on the computer. So I also, I am going to be working from like my tablet, so it's really easy for me to post notes of the class like afterwards. I put those in Canvas. And if you haven't been at Butte College and you don't know what Canvas is, that is it's like our classroom what do you call that? I don't know, but like organizational program. It's kind of like Google Classroom if you had that in high school. So anyway, so I've kind of mentioned or probably given you the sense that like the pace is going to be pretty quick for a lot of you. You're going to feel, I mean, you're going to be fine because we have so much, or I think you're going to be fine because we have so much like ways to like help you and stuff. But like in class, like in our hour 15, possibly it's going to feel like, wow, we just moved on from like one topic to the next. Because of that though, like really try not to miss class. You've got to like be a dedicated student because oftentimes when people miss, they come like the next time and they're so lost. So it really makes a difference to be here. So definitely try. And I'm going to try to make it as fun as possible. Like that's what this picture is. I've got lots of demos planned. So I'm going to do what I can to try to like spice it up. All right. An important part of the class is going to be homework. That's where you learn how to do things. So if you're coming from high school, there's going to be a difference in like science classes, or you're going to notice it quite a bit because like high school, you have so many hours that you're like in the classroom, and teachers will often give you like plenty of time to like do things in class, and you don't necessarily have things to go home, or to do at home, right? But in college, the structure is really different. There's not as many hours that we're like together. And it's kind of like the design of it is that like a portion of this is like you're supposed to be doing a bunch of stuff at home. So like we do things together kind of fast. I try to give you like examples and show you how things work. But then the next piece is like you go home and you work on it, So I think it's supposed to be for every 1 hour that we're together, you're supposed to do, I forget, it's 2 or 3 hours at home. So plenty of time is at home. So just kind of plan for that like you can't just come to class and that's it. Like you have to be doing homework, right? And that's how you're going to learn and how you're going to like cement everything in. So the homeworks I have are made by me. It's not like in a textbook or anything. They're just like, paper assignments. And I'm going to be giving these to you in a print version. Again, if you're working on like a laptop or a tablet, you can download them from Canvas. But they're going to be kind of lengthy. So I have them for like every week. And every week there's going to be 9 to 12 pages. So every class, you're going to expect that you need to do like roughly 5 pages of homework. It's kind of a lot, right? But again, you're supposed to be doing a bunch at home. So you need to keep up on this. Like they're going to be due every week, due Sunday at midnight. And you cannot start on them Sunday. You need to be doing them along the way because you can't do 10 pages. And if you do procrastinate, like you're going to eventually just, take shortcuts where you, I don't know, copy the homework or, because I actually give you the answers to this. So anyway, I give you a blank version printed, and then on Canvas, I also have like the full answers. So I don't print like the full answers, but you can look at them. Also on the original homework, like the blank pages, there's going to be like the answers at the bottom too, so that you can check. And really the homework point is like you learning things. I want to make sure that you're actually doing them right. You want to check your answers and like see, oh, I messed up. I got to find where I messed up. Or like, okay, I'm on track. I'm doing good. So you can check your answers at the bottom, but those are going to be just like quick things. They'll just be like numerical answers. But then on Canvas, there'll be like the full blown answers where I show you like all the steps and everything. Okay, so that is my structure. I feel like it's really useful for learning, but it can be tempting to just like copy the answers, right? And just don't do that because you're not going to learn at all. And you'll get points for like doing the homework, but like when it comes to the test, you're going to bomb them. So the homeworks I told you they're due Sundays, and they're going to be due as PDFs. So the homework, as well as like stuff that we do in lab, you're going to be turning in Canvas. So no like physical copies to me. So there are apps out there that you can use your phone and take pictures of your papers, and then it turns it into a PDF. and then you can turn it in. So we're going to do that with a lot of things, and homework is one of them. In terms of the grading for the homework, I'm just looking that you did it. So I'm just like scanning through and like, oh, so it's all finished. Okay, 10 out of 10. If you do leave some problems blank, then you're going to get less points, right? 9 out of 10 if you only do 90% of it. Anyway, that's how I grade homework. Okay, moving on. So another part of the class is lab. So on Mondays, directly after our lecture, we have a 3-hour lab session. It's going to be in Physical Science 127. This is a different building than our lecture room. We have class in LRC, but the Physical Science building is like right next to it. So we're all just going to have to walk across the way and we go to this other building. But this is like our typical like lab experience. It's what you think, safety goggles, chemicals, mixing things. And we're trying to like prove the theories that we talk about in class. So each lab session, we're going to have a pre-lab group assignment, something that I'm trying to encourage you to work together with people, right? It's going to be just the first 15, maybe 20 minutes of class, a little assignment, you do it, we discuss it, and that's just something to like really force you to, be working. And those are not necessarily going to be about the lab. They might just be about like the class in general. So we're just like, practicing problems and stuff like that. Then I'll like talk about the lab, and then we'll do the lab, and we have lab reports. So they're little assignment things. They're going to be due as a PDF in Canvas, basically at the end of the lab session, technically 15 minutes after our session ends. But basically just think they're due at the end. I basically want you for lab to like do the lab, finish everything while you're together with people so that you can like work on it with people while you're near me so you can ask me questions and then turn it in so that you don't have homework with lab. That's my goal. I think it's a good setup, and it's kind of nice to know that you won't have to do anything extra with lab. Okay, so then on Wednesdays, the other thing we do is we have like a problem solving session. It's called activity. So directly after lecture on Wednesdays, we'll go to a different room in the physical science building. It's over near the women's bathroom, but this is like a non-lab classroom. So there's no sinks or anything. It's just like chairs and chalkboard and that kind of thing. But the point there is that you're going to be working in these little groups. It's set up where there's like 4 desks like all clumped together, and we're going to be like doing stuff together, working on problems related to the class. So these are, basically practice problems. I do a pre-lab thing in there as well, a lab, pre-activity, just call it pre-lab, but it's the same sort of thing. So basically do that like every session. But then it's same sort of thing. There's like an assignment and you'll turn those in at the end. And note that I do accept things late up to 2 days, but it's really your best plan to just like get it done, turn it in so that you get all the points. Okay, moving on. So eventually I need to test you and see that you're like learning things by yourself. So we have quizzes and exams. The quizzes, there'll be 15-minute quizzes every week. They're either going to be, I should say most weeks. Not on exam weeks, but any other week, there's going to be a quiz. A lot of times they're going to be in Canvas. The Canvas ones are just going to be 5 multiple choice questions. They're kind of big ideas or like simple calculations. And the way I do those is I have them open between like Friday and Sunday so that you can do them sometime on the weekend. They're due on Sunday, but I wanted to give you some flexibility for your schedule. The idea is really, we do our classes on Monday, Wednesday. You've got to get the homework done, right? That's like the time after I don't see you after Wednesday. So you're doing the homework, and the idea is like, you finish the homework, you turn that in. Then I want you to like review things, like study, then take the quiz. Okay, so I give you some flexibility so you can just do that whenever you're ready on the weekend. But these are not open note quizzes, and they're not open internet. You're trying to test yourself and see, did I actually get like the main ideas of everything? Then there are some times where we're going to do quizzes in person instead. We would do those during the activity of the lab sessions, and those are going to be different. Like they're going to be more focused on like kind of bigger problems where you have to set up like your work and kind of bigger math problems. Okay, that's quizzes. And then exams, there's going to be 3 exams and then a final exam in the last week. So 4 tests basically. On the midterm exams, you get 60 minutes to do those. They're going to be done in the lecture session. And anyway, these are like the big tests. But I give you a bunch of stuff to help you prepare. So I do have study guides. I have practice exams from like previous years of Chem 1. So there's a bunch of stuff that will help you kind of see what they're going to look like and be ready. The important thing though is just to keep up and don't procrastinate and study and do homework along the way, and ask questions if you're confused about things. Okay, so things to get for Chem 1. So we have a lecture textbook, but it's kind of optional / recommended, but I'm not going to force you to buy a textbook. I feel like a lot of people nowadays are just not used to reading textbooks, and there are people that really can succeed just fine without it. So I'm going to leave it up to you for whether you get a textbook or not. There's not going to be like required readings. There's no points. There's no homeworks from the textbook. And if you're the kind of person that typically gets like an A or a B in like science classes, I'm confident you actually don't need the textbook. I think you're going to be just fine without it. It's people that like struggle that I like, I'm not sure, because like, where are you going to go for help, right? What I would probably do is just kind of start the class and see how it's going and see, is it going fine, or are you confused? Are you lost? And if you start feeling like, man, this class is really confusing, then maybe you should think about getting the textbook. And we do have some on the library, or in the library, on reserve. So there's ways you can, get a loan. So anyway, you should wait and see how it goes. I've got 2 options. One is a Zumdahl textbook. It's like paper copy. But then a second option is there is actually a free book on OpenStax. This is like electronic textbooks where they're trying to like save money for college students and stuff. But there is one there, and I'm gonna link to like certain sections for the online book. So that could be an option for you to, like, if you're confused about things eventually, maybe just go to those little links and see if that textbook helps you. Okay, other things that you need though, for sure, you do need a calculator for exams. I don't loan out calculators, so you have to bring that. And if you forget it on exam day, whoa, that sucks. But you need to have a scientific or a graphing calculator. Scientific is all we need. So like this picture on the bottom, this is the one that I have. That's fine. But if you do have a graphing calculator because of like a math class, you can use that as well. In terms of lab, there's a few things you have to buy. One is week 1 stuff. I give you everything, but you're going to need to buy some things to be ready for week 2. One of the things is lab manual. This is where the lab and activity like instructions and report sheets are in. We have them at the bookstore that you could buy. It's like already printed, double-sided, kind of ready to go. Or if you're electronic, you could just get it from Canvas. Another option is to download it for free from Canvas and then print it yourself. I don't think that the bookstore really marks up that much though, so I don't know if you're saving much money. But if you have an access to like a printer, you can just print it yourself too. Other things you have to buy are we need you to have a lab coat for lab. We have a bunch of used ones actually. So the first week of class you could actually buy a used one from us. But there's also like Amazon and there's places you can get them. Just make sure that they are past waist level, so they're kind of long. They go to your knees, and they're not like short sleeve. They got to be like all the way to your hands. Okay, and then we also need you to get safety goggles. There's 2 versions of safety goggles. There's one that's like kind of a cheap version. And if you're like an engineering class and you need like just Chem 1, like probably get the cheap one. But there's another version that's like more expensive, but maybe like $20, but like way more comfortable. And if you're a science major and you're going to take 2 years of chemistry, I would get that one. Because like when you get to organic chemistry, like the second year, we wear them like the whole time, 3 hours with your goggles on. So you're going to want comfortable ones. So yeah, I have links on Canvas. I have like pictures and stuff that'll show you like what those look like the cheap and the more expensive ones. But yeah, okay. And I think that's all you have to buy. I mean, it's really not too bad. So textbook, possibly not, or the free version, you got to get calculator, you got to get the lab manual, lab coat, goggles, a few things, but not a ton. So then let's look at what Canvas is going to look like for us. Okay, so if you haven't used Canvas yet, so you'll have your all your classes are in here, but like in ours, we're going to have, it's pretty simple. The main place you want to go to is the modules tab. Like that's going to list like all the stuff. And I have a listing like per week of like everything. So in our first week, this is where you're going to find the lab manual if you need to download it, and like lecture notes and homeworks and like all that stuff. It's in this section. So first week has some like extra things because, first week is we're just sort of figuring out how to do things. But how like a typical week is going to look is more like this. Here's our week 6. So I have it separated into like the different sections. So that first one where it says like week 6 resources, that's going to be like my dumping page where I like put homework answers, quiz answers, lecture notes after we do it. I'm just going to put all the stuff in there, like where my office hours are and like everything, right? So that's going to be the top one. And then I separate it into like, okay, lab. Maybe there's extra stuff for lab. Sometimes we're going to have a video when we have like a technique that we do. I'm actually going to be showing you the videos in class, so you don't have to like watch them ahead of time. But if you did want to watch them ahead of time, like if you want to hear things twice, I give you the option of that, of like watching it. Then I also list, we're going to have a pre-lab assignment. You don't really have to do anything for that. I just want you to be aware that there's like an assignment, so if you miss class, you're missing that. And then here's like the lab. This is like the assignment, like where you turn in like the lab report. Then I do the same thing for like our Wednesday activity session. We've got a pre-lab assignment. We have the activity, and that's just where you turn stuff in. Then our end of week is we're always going to have homework that's due, and we typically are going to have like a quiz in Canvas. So that's going to be the link and like where you find it. Okay. I think hopefully organized. And if we do have like an exam, then I'll have that listed as well. Or, when we have like the week before the test, we'll have like practice exams and all that stuff. There'll be like a thing that says like exam study tools. So that's where you'll find it. Okay. So just to mention, how I'm going to grade you. So homework is worth 5%. The labs and activities, all that stuff is worth 30. There's a lot to that. And the exams, the quiz is 65. So homework is worth a small amount. I don't want you to think, oh, that means I don't have to do the homework. Just the reason is because I give you the answers. So I really can't make that worth like a ton of stuff. In terms of like all the assignments, there are going to be times probably where you have to miss class or you get sick or something. So just know that I do drop the lowest 2 of like everything except for exams. So like if you do have an absence, like you're fine. It's all kind of built in to accommodate that. Okay, and a couple things just to mention is, one is you do have to pass the exams. So if you just fail all the exams, doesn't matter what your lab grade is, like you're going to fail the class. So just keep that in mind. And also know that I am tracking your lab attendance. You can't miss more than 2 labs. This is not the activity session, but just the lab. And it's because like I need you to learn techniques, like you're moving on, a lot of you, to like Chem 2, organic, and like you have to be able to do certain things. So like can't have you missing that much. Okay, and we are almost done. This is our my last page. So just a few parting comments, how you're going to do well in this class. First off, don't expect it to be super easy. You got to be reasonable. It's a science class. It's going to be a lot of work. So, if you're ready to work, you're willing to put in the effort, that's a good first step. Okay, and then don't miss class. And when you're in class, really try to give it your full attention. So sleep well so that you're not falling asleep. We got an 8 o'clock class, right? And eat correctly and exercise and do all that stuff where you're just taking care of yourself so that you're able to succeed, Other things are the homework. I mentioned this. Don't put this off till Sunday. You want to do the homework kind of along the way. If we do lecture on Monday, you ought to be doing some homework by Tuesday at least, especially because you're going to forget everything. If you wait until Sunday to do things, you won't remember what we talked about on Monday at all, So homework is really where you cement things into that more long-term memory, and you got to do it quick for that. Don't copy the homework. Just know, you got to actually learn it. That's the whole point of the homework. It'd be great to do the homework with people too. If you could find a group and, sometime on another day or even on Monday or Wednesday, go to a lot of the places on campus and work on your homework together. Be nice. All right. And mentioning that, it'll be really helpful for you if you can make friends in this class and be comfortable enough to ask other people for help. And that's really a huge behavior for success, I think, is being willing to ask. And I know it takes bravery, right? To be putting yourself out there where I don't know what I'm doing, but you have to. And those are the people that do really well. Those who are willing to ask for help. Speaking of that, I have office hours, which are times when I'm in my office and I'm just, doing other things. But the point of those times are that I'm there for drop-in. If you need help on something, homework, labs, or whatever, come in. I'll help you. I'll stop what I'm doing. So that's the point, right? So yeah, I have those during the semester. And I also have an SI. This is called a supplemental instructor if you haven't had one in another class, but this is a student who took Chem 1 with me before and was awesome. Her name is Kelsey. And so she's going to be sitting in on the lectures, and so just kind of, reviewing everything that we've done, but also helping out. And then she holds her own sessions where she has problems that you can work through and stuff. And right before the exams, she'll also have a big super session, study for the test type stuff. So how to use her, she's great. We also have free tutoring in the CAS, which is the same building as we're having our lecture. It's in the LRC. It's in the second floor. But yeah, free tutoring for chemistry. So make use of that. That'll be really great. Okay, I think that is it for me. So sorry this was so long. But yeah, that's the general structure of the class. So yeah, I will see you guys on Monday and we will start the spring semester. I look forward to it. See you later.